So this live session is just gonna be like a casual thing. So first of all, this is my first time doing a live, so I'm sorry for my embarrassing mistakes. But anyway, this live session is gonna be like we're gonna have four speakers sharing their experiences with like red flags in any types of relationships and like what happened when they like probably ignored those red flags or like maybe they have any advices on how to like you know avoid these things like self-care. So what else, huh. And then we're also gonna have a readout of our story. It's like an ending to our story, and we just wanted to like end it here, put it out there, like it's our closure. And then oh yeah, lastly we're gonna have a discussion on the red flags that was in our story like this whole time. And then lastly we're gonna have a Q&A. So for the Q&A session, you guys actually have to like put your question in that special Q&A box thing. It's like right beside the comment section thing. It's like a question mark something. I don't know. I don't know. I just discovered it like just now. Anyway, so we're just gonna start right off. I'm gonna invite our first speaker, and our first speaker is Pavitra. Hi, Pavitra.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did I join too early?
What? No, 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 no. This is the right time.
Okay.
All right. So right, we're just gonna be talking about how like your experiences with stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
So,
can I start now?
yep. Start now. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just wanna put out something like when we talk about red flags, right? We always think it's like red flags in romantic relationship, but it's also important to note that you can sense red flags in any sort of relationship. It could be any sort of platonic relationship as well, like friendship, in your colleagues, or even in your family members. So that's very important to know. And just for the sake of privacy, I'm going to name this person Lucifer.
Okay. Very sexy.
Okay,
Okay.
so there's this Lucifer in my life. And there was a lot of red flags that I actually initially ignored. And one of those red flags were actually like this person expected so much of perfection from me. And I thought it was normal and I thought it was my obligation to be perfect for them. I thought I needed to do something to make them love me. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize it until it was like super late. And another thing with this person is sorry is just never in their vocabulary. Like they would do any mistakes and the blame would literally go on everyone else except for themselves. So that was something which is very toxic. And like, when you love a person, you always like think uh, things are going to get better. This is just temporary. You always try to be so positive, but like
Yeah.
sometimes they're just like that. You can't change them. And it takes a very long time to realize that, because humans are like, we always have expectations, and sometimes people just don't keep up to expectations.
Yeah. It's
And
true.
another thing with Lucifer is this person is very extremely absorbed. Like,
Oh.
it's not like they wouldn't do anything for me. It's like they would do a lot of things for me, but the in the core, it's always them putting their self-interest forward. Like it's always them, and it took like honestly like so many years for me to realize that, oh, they have always put themselves first. It's always about them. They just wanted to show off that they cared about me. And I was here being so naive, like, oh, they loved me. But you know what? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, so these are like some of the things.
hmm And like these are big things as well because even in our like in our text little text post, we also mentioned like the three of
Yeah.
the things that you mentioned just now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so these are the. But like, how did you like come to realize like that this is like toxic and stuff, and how did you get out of that
Because I kept
relationship?
telling myself that, it's gonna get better, but it never got better. Things just kept, the same things kept happening again and again, and I just got fed up at one point, and I was like, you know what, this is the reality. You gotta accept it. This person is not gonna change. So if you want something good for yourself, you gotta like move on. But the thing is, it's very difficult to move on. Sometimes you will think like, okay, I can just leave this person and go. But in some situations, it's really difficult for you to physically leave the person because it could be someone that is really important in your life. It could be your colleague or your family members. So I think for me, what helped is creating emotional boundary, like telling myself that this I gotta put some sort of boundary with this person and not allow them to hurt me the way they have always done. Don't give them the opportunity and do not expect much from them. And another thing that I'm still working on, but which is pretty important, I think it's like I had to I'm still trying to leave behind that person who tolerated all those toxicness and all those nonsense. I have to leave that person behind and that toxic person as well, you know? So yeah, those are like the two things that I'm still working on. It's been a work in progress.
Yeah, these things are usually like easier said than done, right? Because you always like make excuses for people that you care about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
All right.
definitely. Especially if they're like someone really important in your life, it's very difficult.
Yeah. All right. That's all the time we had. Thank you so much. That was
Thank you
very
so much for
insightful.
having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm gonna bye. All right. This next person is Alisa, and I am looking for her. All right, here she is.
Hi.
Hello, Alisa.
Hi. Can you
Um,
hear me?
what? Sorry, what?
Can you hear me clearly?
Uh, yes, I can, but you got cut off a bit just now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
All right, but I think it's fine now. All right.
Okay.
All right. So just as before, like you could share your relation or share your experiences and stuff like that. Let's go.
All right. Okay. So for me, I've obviously never been in a relationship. So, the red flags were present in a friendship I had. And
Mm-hmm.
it took me a while to realize that it was a red flag because at the time I didn't realize that it was. So, long story short, a friend of mine basically kind of stirred up um, some sort of a commotion. She tweeted something basically, and she basically the tweet was taken out of context, and it kind of caused like a fight, and it wasn't known to me and her at the time. A friend of mine, told me about it, and so mine kind of like defended the people who she was talking about, and this my friend was like, "Oh, she shouldn't have that." And at the time, I was like, "Yeah." And she also had her points in saying that, right? Because the tweet was taken out of context. And then basically, when I told my friend was kind of shocked, but at least we knew, right? We knew that somebody was talking about. And one day, me and her and this other friend were in a place, and I was basically talking to this friend. And she saw, and then after that, she asked me, like, why? She told me that it was uncomfortable that I was still being friends with this person. And
Uh,
at the time, I was like, why wouldn't I be, right? Because this person is still like a good friend of mine.
mm,
And so she's like, I feel like, know, you being friends with him just makes me feel like you're not on my side.
Yes,
So at the
yes.
time, I was like, oh, because I'm actually the kind of person that would literally drop someone if you tell me to, if it's justified, right? And I didn't think at the time it was justified for me to stop being friends with this person. Because if it wasn't for this person, then we wouldn't have known that her tweet was taken out of context, right?
Mm.
So, and then I'm actually like a really non-confrontational person. So at the time, yeah. So at the time, I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt like that." But I told her that I can't just stop being friends with this person. But something inside of me actually did want to stop being friends because I wanted to like please my friend. Yeah. So I guess it wasn't really a red flag for me at the time. I just recently realized that it was.
Mm.
So yeah.
All right. If you were to like describe or put that red flag into like a term or a word, what would it be?
I
If
think
you're.
like
Mhm.
I guess like guilt tripping or
Oh. Ooh.
I don't think it's gaslighting, but it's more towards pushing somebody into like making you feel bad for doing something because it
Yeah.
affects them, right?
Mm. And
And I,
it's a very like manipulative thing to do as well.
yeah, kinda, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, these things, if they start to like manipulate you and stuff like that, it's not gonna last or it's not gonna work.
But like I'm still
Mm.
person, so and I guess they've changed.
Oh,
So
right. All right. All right. That's great then. I'm very sorry. It was like very laggy,
oh, I'm
but
so
it's fine. It's fine. It's just that it was kind of hard to like catch some stuff. So,
uh,
um, yeah, it's all right. But thank you so much for sharing. We're happy to have you.
thank you.
All right. Thank
Thank you.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Right, our next speaker is it's Azam. Oh,
Hello.
all right.
Can
So what?
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
All
All
right.
right. So just like just now, the two other people, your experiences or advice or anything. Let's go.
All right. This isn't actually my story. I'm speaking for friend's experience. So it's my friend with the ex. So my friend had this experience with a lack of communication with the ex. So the
Oh.
ex is the kind of a scorekeeper that keeps scoring like your past mistakes and ended up justifying their current mistake
Oh.
for like you having that past mistake. And then when there's a problem, they would just bring it up again and again, even though my friend already like changed and also asked for forgiveness and stuff. And they also give silent treatments if there's a problem, like
Mm.
endless silent treatment, like unlike scheduled silent treatment where you just go and find find a place to calm yourself down and then talk about the problem. But no, this one did not do it like that. So
Mm.
my friend thought that
Yes.
the ex was having a bad day and all, trying to justify her eh, the uh, the silent treatment and the
Mm.
red flag, but they ended up leaving, saying
Ah.
that they had given up on the relationship. So yeah,
Oh, so they were the red flaggy person was the one who
yeah,
left the
yeah.
friend.
Mm.
Oh my, okay. That's a twist. All right. So why did your friend like, deal with that or like take those red flaggy behaviors for so long? without? Like, was it for a long time?
Yeah, it was for a long time. It was like about 2 years or something.
Yes, the audience member says it right. It's emotional abuse and manipulation.
Yeah, they just ended like that. Poof.
Yeah. But how did you feel like how did your friend feel like when it ended?
He felt sad. It was hard for him to move on, like really hard. So he had to like um reflect and all, asked for advice,
Yeah,
but
because
none of
even
them were
though
working
because
because it
even
was
though it's
a
like yeah,
it fell down
even
so
though it's
deep.
like oh, hi Young. Um all right, unfortunately we also do not have much time here. It's quite
All right.
packed. So thank you for sharing as
Oh
well.
yeah. You're
Have a nice
welcome.
day. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Then our last speaker is Alia.
Hi.
Hi Alia.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, so just like the previous, your experiences or advice or anything. Let's go.
Okay. I do not have advice because unfortunately I was one of the red flags.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. So I guess the most prominent trait I guess for me was possessiveness. Yeah,
Huh.
for me, every guy I have ever dated, it's like you're mine. No other girl can see you. No other girl can like hang out with you. I am super paranoid,
Yeah.
and my I wouldn't say I have anxiety, but I am an anxious person. So if let's say they hang out with a group of friends, but there's this girl or like there are a few girls, and I would be there thinking like, oh, are they gonna flirt with you? Are they gonna try get you for no reason whatsoever? So it's very bad. No, don't do that. Don't be me. Right?
Well, I think that as a person, I think it's great that you recognize like the red flags in yourself because this is like the hardest part, like it's fine to make mistakes, but you must be willing and open to try and be better and stuff. So it's great.
Do
It's great
better.
that you do
Correct.
better. Yes, correct. Yeah, so it's great that you're putting yourself out there and you're like trying to do better and stuff and everything. And yeah, all right. Unfortunately, we are very packed. Somehow time flew.
We are.
So thank you so much for joining and speaking.
Thank
Um,
you for having me.
all right. Bye. Thank you. Mm.
Bye.
So that's all for our first section. The second section is an ending readout. So I'm basically gonna like speed read through our supposed video ending. Alright, so basically a recap of the videos are like just there are two people, Robin and Sam, and they're quite toxic. And Robin was it? No, Sam is kind of like a justifier, so they always justify Sam's behavior. So I'm gonna try to be as dramatic as possible so no one falls asleep, but I'm kind of bad at this. My sister tells me. So after Robin's ultimatum, Sam finally decides to go meet Michael anyway. After all, they were friends, and Sam was certainly allowed to have people to count on besides Robin, right? So Sam arrives earlier at Pop's ice cream than the agreed time. In that time, Sam prepares to voice out the things that Sam has been through. When Michael finally arrives, Sam begins to tell Michael everything about Sam's relationship with Robin. Everything including the constant ultimatums, mistrust, ignorance, and all the emotional roller coasters that Sam's been through with Robin, including Robin's jealousy for Sam going out with Michael. While it was difficult at first, Sam opened up to Michael in time. It was nice to have someone to listen about the things Sam has been through. To Sam's shock, Robin had also reached out to Michael. It turns out after the dispute with Sam, Robin had threatened Michael to stay away from Sam. Regardless of Robin's warnings and threats, however, Michael had decided to meet with Sam anyway. During their conversation, Michael begins to point out that Sam has tolerated some of Robin's behaviors for too long. As they talk, uncertainty begins to settle into Sam's thoughts. Maybe the relationship couldn't be repaired despite time and effort, especially if they continued on like this. Michael advises Sam to think about everything that has happened between Sam and Robin and to take a moment to ask a single question. Was Sam happy? With that thought, Sam reflects on the time they spent together, and despite the good times in between, there were more bad than there were good. So that's a sign. So, the longer Sam dwelt on this, the more Sam began to realize neither of them were truly happy with what they had. So, between the constant arguments and the mistrust, the times where they were truly happy together were very few and far between. Distant memory. In the end, Sam realizes they would not be happy now or in the future, and with a heavy heart, decides to leave Robin. So, okay, no ship. Alright, so that's the ending of our story. And now we're gonna have a little discussion on the red flags on our previous videos. There's only 2, so I'm gonna bring Azam back.
Oh.
It's your turn to take the stage.
All right,
Yeah.
it's me again.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking about some facts about the story of Sam and Robin in the previous videos that we have uploaded. So there are actually 2 themes in the videos and the story between Sam and Robin. The first one is communication, and the second one is trust. So those 2 things have to be the basic foundation in a romantic or platonic relationship, I guess in any relationship. So in the first video, Sam and Robin showed some traits of red flags, which are silent treatments, ignorance, manipulation, emotional one, and also the invalidation coming from Robin to Sam. So this is where we have to identify some of the red flags in the story. So we gave you some choices there. And also in the next video, we are talking about trust between Sam and Robin, where Sam and Robin are hanging by a thread, actually, by a lack of trust between them, because Robin was actually having a hard time trusting Sam, going out with Sam's friend. And Robin ended up having jealousy with one of Sam's friends, which is Michael. Yeah, correct. And then, yeah, I guess that's it. So when there's a lack of communication and trust, the relationship ain't gonna last.
Yes. It takes time and work if you want to put in the work, right?
It does.
All right. That's it. I have to speed run through this. Okay. So
All
our last
right.
section is. All right. Thank you,
Thank you.
Azam. So our last session is the Q&A section. All right. If anyone has any questions or they want like bad relationship advices / good relationship advices, you guys can put it down there. All right. We have one question. Isn't being possessive a sign that your partner wants to protect you? No. No. Because the point of possessiveness is that, not the point. The landmark of what constitutes possessiveness is that they don't let you have the freedom that you should have, and they think that you belong to them. So they don't really see you as a person, they see you more as an object. And when a partner or a friend or anyone at all, sees you as an object, they, you're basically being used and stuff. So it's not a very healthy relationship. All right, okay. There's another question here. Is it good to give a choice to someone who has been cheating on you? Um, mm, well, if I'm being honest, it's not a good choice, but I understand how hard it is because I've done it myself. Like, one of my partners has cheated on me before, and 5 times actually. And I actually gave them a chance because it was kind of sad. So I wouldn't say it's a good advice because for me, the way that it turned out was that the reason I gave them a chance was from my own insecurity. Like I felt that no one else would want me. And so I kept giving them chances and as I said, I gave them 5 chances. So in the end it didn't work out. So I wouldn't say it's a good question. It wouldn't it's a good choice. I wouldn't say it's a good choice because you have to know your worth in your relationship. If they do not see you as an equally worthy person, then it's not a relationship. It's more like a power play. That's not very healthy. All right. Next question. How many chances can we give to a person who keeps on messing up? Oh, that's a very difficult question, but um, to me, I think we have to look at the person. Like, some people they are they're not very good at relationship stuff. Maybe they had like a rough childhood or they didn't have very good role models, and so it takes like a long time for them to learn, to adjust, to have a healthy relationship. And these things are hard. So sometimes we have to give people chances, but it depends on how much you are able to take because in the end it's mostly about you. You have to take care of yourself. It's self-care, self-care, self-care. So a relationship is supposed to give you both fulfillment, and if you feel that you are not in a position or you are not okay enough to be able to be okay for them, then I think you should minimize your chances. It depends on you, but these things are hard. But you have to see those people. You have to see the people. You have to judge by how they are, who they are. Right. So all right. So I think that's it for our session. Thank you so much for joining. That's all. Yeah, I don't know how to end this. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.